We want to create a space where veterans, student veterans feel like they belong.
Today on Veterans Voices, getting veterans back in the classroom, the program helping them get there. Plus,
we like to brag that we don't have a building full of stuff, we have a building full of people.
We'll take you inside a treasure trove of military history on the Dayton VA campus. And
to see his name on the Hall of Heroes, the Smithsonian, is he deserves it. He deserves it.
A Miami Valley native gave his life to save others in Vietnam. Why his family says he should receive the highest military honors. Hello and welcome to our Veterans Voices special. Over the next 30 minutes, we will celebrate the men and women who serve and sacrifice to keep us all free.
We'll show you groups across the Miami Valley honoring our veterans and bring you important information about services available to those who serve.
One of those is the Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission. It offers assistance for veterans who have experienced financial hardships due to the COVID-19 pandemic. 2 News reporter Kiana Deitcha shows us how it works.
Whether it's food insecurity or lending a hand with paying bills, the VA says they are here to help.
I have been through cancer twice. I also have 22 screws in my chest and got in a real bad car accident.
Jerome Arnold is retired from the U.S. Air Force.
It's hard for me to sit in chairs continuously, and it's been rough, especially in addition with the COVID and everything.
Montgomery County Veterans Services Commissioners recently teamed up to create a program to help veterans like Arnold get back on their feet.
They jumped to action and decided that they would offer a $1,000 COVID relief package.
Kimberly Frisco says the program is available to vets that may have lost their job or had reduced hours due to the pandemic. The office is also offering food vouchers.
We realize that our community, as well as our veterans, are struggling with food insecurities and food access. And you can see that as you look in the community and see all of the lines for our food bank and our food pantries.
She says they partner with Kroger to provide same-day food assistance to vets in need. Arnold says both programs have helped his family stay afloat.
I thought I needed to have a shut-off notice for my utilities, but they told me I didn't need it, just come back the next month is what I had done. So they took care of my water bill as well as my electric bill. And in addition of the rent or housing, as well as vouchers, $500 worth of vouchers, so we can go to the nearest Kroger's.
Kiana Deitcha, 2 News, working for you.
There are also legal options for veterans facing minor charges. The Veterans Treatment Court offers a program to help veterans get back on track through treatment for a variety of issues, including substance abuse, PTSD, and mental health. A recent graduate of the program says it's helped him go from homeless and drug addicted to clean, and a Dean's List student at Sinclair Community College.
Once you get that sobriety and good things start happening, then it's like you start to realize that, well, this is actually working. And you get that camaraderie back, that support system, and a lot of positive things just start happening.
Organizers say the program takes an average of 18 months, with veterans receiving treatment the entire time. After time in the military, many veterans head to school to pursue their professional goals. A special center at Wright State University is helping veterans accomplish that goal. 2 News reporter Kelly King shows us how it's helping them earn a degree.
The Veteran and Military Center at Wright State University was created 7 years ago after determining there was a need for it. It supports student veterans on their academic journey as they navigate the world of higher education.
They're 22 years old, and they're a very different 22-year-old from a 22-year-old that hasn't been out in the world and hasn't traveled.
For those in a different place, a common place to find common ground.
It's not an easy job to be in the military. There are long hours, there's stressful situations. Some of the things you've seen are difficult to process.
A space to share those stories of combat and survival. First created in 2013, the Veteran and Military Center at Wright State University serves those who've served us.
We want to create a space where student veterans feel like they belong.
Recognizing their needs differ from the typical college student, the center helps process GI bills.
The post 9/11 GI Bill creates a circumstance for adult students who want to come to school as almost like a normal college student.
And services extend beyond that. But in the age of COVID, it looks a little different.
70% of our courses are in a remote learning environment. So we're also trying to connect them with the resources they need.
Equipped with a computer lab, lounge, kitchen, and private study rooms with free coffee and printing, the space has room for 50 students at one time. During the pandemic, it stayed largely empty, but the service is still there.
Our tutoring center gets a lot of use right now, actually as much or more than it got before.
While the center is still working to meet demands virtually, they're looking forward to when the space is active again.
I'm looking forward to bringing the space back to life.
The center is also expanding, working to build an outside patio called the Champions Garden, honoring those who've served. Reporting at Wright State University, Kelly King, 2 News, working for you.
There is also help available for homeless veterans in the Miami Valley. The HUDVash program sets those veterans on a path to get a home. The program partners with community organizations across 16 counties. It offers vouchers to help veterans buy a home and then follows up to make sure they do not become homeless again. A veteran currently using the program encourages those in need to reach out for help.
If it wasn't for the HUDVash program, I'm just wondering where I would be today. And I would advise anyone that's a veteran to join that program if they're homeless.
Officials say it can take up to 120 days to get a voucher, but temporary housing can be made available to help veterans get off the street.
There is nothing greater than a mother's love, and one group of moms is making sure our servicemen and women know it. They're called Blue Star Moms, and every Saturday they send care packages all over the world. But like a lot of organizations, it's been more difficult to get donations and volunteers this year to help support our military.
With donations, people are experiencing hardships, and so that makes it more difficult to make those donations.
The Blue Star Moms say they hope to send 500 stockings to our military around Christmas, but they are in need of some donations. If you want to help, we have a link on WDTN.com. Just click on As Seen on 2 News. Still ahead on Veterans Voices, a walk to remember. Meet the veteran walking across Ohio to honor those who serve. Plus,
we don't do it, who will?
A hidden gem with centuries of history on display. We will take you inside the Miami Valley Military History Museum. Books have been written, movies have been scripted, video games have been imagined, all trying to give a real-life sense of war. But there's a place right here in the Miami Valley where you not only read and look at history, but at the Miami Valley Military History Museum, you can touch it.
Duty, honor, integrity, sacrifice. Words that make up the fabric of the military. The Miami Valley Military History Museum has plenty of fabric, over 5,000 uniforms, and over 100,000 artifacts telling the history of our military's men and women dating all the way back to the Revolutionary War. But this building, that is hard to miss on the Dayton VA campus, is more than just 4 walls filled with souvenirs.
We like to brag that we don't have a building full of stuff, we have a building full of people.
And stories. The thread that weaves each sleeve is far more than just stitching that binds a uniform from years ago. It's a personal story.
You can reach out and touch that person who wore that uniform. I can see their face. I can know what they did.
Like Greenville native Glenn Pittman, whose story would otherwise be lost.
That medal, there's just something that draws me to it. Life was just not kind to him.
Pittman lost his entire family in a fiery explosion when he was 2. He later enlisted in the Navy during World War II and was an armed guard on a cargo ship about 300 miles south of the tip of South Africa.
German submarine U-81, which was commanded by one of Germany's top U-boat aces, put 2 torpedoes into it and it sank within a matter of minutes.
Most died, including Pittman. And his story would have died in those waters as well, if not for this museum.
Glenn Pittman's family, there's nobody left to tell his story. If we don't do it, who will?
A museum, yes, but also a sanctuary of trust for veterans and their families.
To be able to touch them, we're almost their last bit of life.
Mark Conrad adds the museum also gives hope during these challenging times of wondering if we will ever escape the grip of COVID-19 by saying there were much darker days during World War I and the days that followed, even Vietnam. Yet in each and all occasions of battle, we not only survived, but we have been better for it. Still ahead on Veterans Voices, helping to fund a military memorial, how the young Marines are using their competition for a larger goal. Plus,
service is not over, and that great feeling that you had when you were active duty serving, it exists out here as a civilian.
A Putnam County veteran recently walked through the Miami Valley. His goal is to walk through the entire state of Ohio.
He says he wants veterans to remember they still have a lot to offer after their service time is up. 2 News reporter Adam Reif tells us his story.
Veterans have so much to offer the country.
Conrad Allen has an ambitious goal. He wants to walk the state of Ohio to make sure every veteran knows they matter.
I'm happy to come out here and do this and encouraging other veterans to do the same, and they are all across the country.
It's a family affair for the Allens. When we recently caught up with Conrad in Tip City, his daughter Abby was walking with him, and Conrad's wife Dee Dee helps him plan the logistics each day.
She's in charge of whether I get to go or not. She checks my feet every day. She pulled me off the road. We was here at the Dairy Queen. She looked, she said, "You're out."
He started the journey in his hometown of Ottawa, Ohio, up in Putnam County. He says he's heading home, but he's taking the long way.
I'm going through Cincinnati. We're going to go up to Marietta. We're going to go up to Youngstown. We're going to go through Cleveland. We're going to glide by my hometown, Norwalk, Ohio. We're going to Toledo. Then we're going to head south, back to my house in Ottawa.
He says he's gotten a lot of support from people passing by along the way, especially when he carries the blue flag.
I know our police make mistakes and our prosecutors have to deal with that, but the vast majority of the police are really good.
Conrad says his goal is to spread love and to make sure veterans know their service does not have to end when they hang up their uniforms.
Find what you can do. Maybe there's something you can do. Maybe you're painting pictures. Maybe you're helping people in town. Whatever your talent might be, find it, and you'll get that same feeling we had when we were on active duty. That feeling of service and love for country.
Adam Reif, 2 News, working for you.
A group of young Marines in the Miami Valley made it their mission to help complete a veterans monument in Miami County. 2 News anchor Brooke Moore shows us how their hard work paid off.
Well, not to overstate it, but we were ecstatic.
Leadership, teamwork, and discipline are a few of the life skills young Marines are taught every day. Putting them into practice helped them raise thousands of dollars.
The Miami Valley Young Marines have been extremely successful in getting community support.
In September, as part of their community service project, the group hosted a drill competition. Young Marines from Ohio, Michigan, Illinois, and West Virginia traveled to the Miami Valley to be the last one standing. Ray Gerard, the public relations officer for the Miami Valley Young Marines, describes it as a military-style game of Simon Says.
One example being present arms, order arms. So if somebody gives you the command, present arms, and then parade rest, that's not the right sequence, but if they go to parade rest, they're knocked out.
The competition attracted some of the top talent from across the Midwest and also some of the top brass from around the country, including the deputy director of the National Young Marines who traveled from Washington, D.C. The entry fee was $5 per person. The Young Marines raised $3,000 that will help complete the West Milton Veterans Memorial.
Well, the format of the Veterans Memorial is a stone wall, and it covers from left to right specific marble attachments, if you will, or blocks that show a picture of the war.
The monument in West Milton Municipal Park will honor contributions made during the Revolutionary War through the Vietnam War. The Young Marines are still planning a formal presentation. In the meantime, the success of the fundraiser is matched by their success in the competition.
Excited to get that blue ribbon and the gold medal around their neck.
That was Brooke Moore reporting. Still ahead on Veterans Voices, giving back to those who keep us safe. The group helping a veteran and his family get a home to call their own.
He was our hero before he wore the uniform. We want him recognized as a national hero.
Remembering a Miamisburg man who died a hero in the Vietnam War, the honors his family is pushing for, and how you can help make it happen. Gary McKitty's story is one for the history books. The Miamisburg native died a hero in the Vietnam War on May 6, 1970.
After the helicopter he and 2 others were in was shot down by enemy fire in Cambodia, Gary pulled his best friend to safety and then died trying to save the 3rd man inside. 5 decades later, Gary's family is still working to bring him the honor they say he deserves, the Medal of Honor.
I won't forget the minister said, "You should be proud your brother died a hero."
A hero in a place he never had to be. Gary McKitty enlisted during the Vietnam War. Despite receiving orders to go to Alaska or Germany, he asked to go to the center of the fighting.
Felt the call of duty to volunteer to go to Vietnam. So that's what he did. He had his orders changed.
McKitty met Jim Skaggs and they became fast friends. They often flew missions together, including their fateful last mission when they were shot down.
And I saw the jungle rushing at me and I heard the glass in front of me break, and that's the last thing I remember about the crash.
Gary was thrown free, but the pilot and Jim were trapped inside, badly injured. By the time Jim awoke, Gary had already ran into the fire and dragged him to safety.
When I came to, I was laying out in the jungle on my back, looking around, and I'm in shock. I'm in total shock.
Medics eventually rescued Skaggs, but found a tragic scene when they searched for McKitty.
And he went over to where the fire was burning, and he came back and he shook his head no. And so I knew they were gone. And I just began to cry. I couldn't stop crying.
Now, 50 years later, Jim and Gary's family are still fighting for the honor they say Gary deserves, the Medal of Honor.
Gave his life for our country. And, you know, it's an expectation in the military and in the United States that we honor those that go above and beyond the call of duty. And
so far, it's been decades of dead ends.
it always gets put off the shelf, and there's never a call to say I tried or we're going to continue working on it.
Still, they cling to hope.
To see his name on the Hall of Heroes at the Smithsonian is, he deserves it. He deserves it. I'm sorry, excuse me.
If you would like to help the McKittys in their quest to have Gary awarded the Medal of Honor, you can write your legislators. We have information on how you can do that on our website, WDTN.com. Just click on this story under Veterans Voices.
It's speechless. I truly am.
A veteran and his family get the gift of a lifetime, the group making sure they have a home to call their own.
A Marine Corps veteran and his family are getting a brand new home in Vandalia.
It's almost like we don't even deserve it, you know. There's so many good dudes out there that's where they haven't come back yet, you know, and their kids are at home without a father.
The nonprofit Operation Finally Home helped make the home possible for U.S. Marine Corps Sergeant Aaron Zern and his family. Zern was injured in Iraq and suffers from PTSD and a traumatic brain injury. He medically retired in 2016. The Zern's new home will be custom built to help Sergeant Zern live with his injuries. The Zern family home is expected to be completed by December.
Some local veterans from the Greatest Generation recently celebrated birthdays. George Kiter was a U.S. Navy pilot in World War II. People in Xenia recently organized a drive-by parade to celebrate his 99th birthday safely during the pandemic. Along with friends and family, first responders also joined the parade, and members of the Color Guard carried the flag.
Thank you so much for joining us for our Veterans Voices special.
And that wraps up our coverage today. To see more content, go to WDTN.com and click on the Veterans Voices tab.